words that I gave you, because I forgot the words that I talked to you about. What was the word? Hassles. Okay. The next word is hassles. Hunch. Hunch we talked about. Hunch means an intuition. You talk about an intuition that you have, right? That, please don't look at me like this, but I am supposed to look into the camera. That is how it goes. Okay. Hunch talks about an intuition, or it talks about something that you have, already have a premonition. You already have a feeling of, right? Means, आपको एक अंदेशा सा हो जाता है. That is what you talk about. The next word was hassles. Hassles are hassles. What does the word hassle mean? Problems. Yes, problems. Okay, you talk about problems. Like, what are the hassles about getting a job in the private sector? We have Pratyush trying to join the government sector. We say, what are the hassles of getting a job in the private sector that makes you go into the government sector? That is what we say, hassles. Okay, right. Next word was? S-N-A-G, snag. What does the word snag mean? You must have heard about this word, snag, no? Never? Get snaps? Snaps, okay. Snap has also got two meanings, but snag is a word which is used for the airline develops snags, technical problems, technical errors. Generally, you would see certain flights, when they take off, they come back to the airport because they developed a snag. Yes, it took off and it developed a snag. Was it about bursting of?
Yes, bursting off, and there is a technical problem with the...
So we use the word snag there. Right? Okay. And then we also talk about any kind of a technical hassle. We talk about that being a snag. Alright. Now you talked about the word snap. She said, ma'am, we know about snap. Snap doesn't only have to be a photograph. Snap as a verb means what? What do you mean about that? Snap. Snapdeal is also a noun. Snap, to break. I snap all ties with you. To break all the ties with you. Okay, that's called a snap. Talk of it as a snapping a deal with, no, it's not snapping a deal, snapping ties with somebody. Ties with somebody. Okay, that's called snap. Snapping ties with somebody, breaking it. Tod dena. Like, I think, are you aware of this? The Saudi diplomats, recent issue about in Gurgaon, the Saudi diplomats, there was a Saudi diplomat who was involved in raping his domestic help. It's in controversy nowadays, in news in the past 2-3 days. Now it has become a, international, I mean, the government of India has taken it up with the government of Saudi Arabia. What is happening is, now if the government doesn't do anything about this, the Saudi government doesn't do anything about it, India might snap ties with Saudi Arabia. I'm just giving you an example. This is not factually correct. सिर्फ इस इंसिडेंट के लिए दो कंट्रीज स्नैप टाइज नहीं कर सकते, बट इट माइट स्नैप टाइज विद देम. स्नैपिंग टाइज, ब्रेकिंग टाइज विद देम, तोड़ देना. Yes, they have not solved or they are not helping. Just to give an example.
We do not use it in relationships.
Yeah, I snap tight with somebody. I snap tight with my brother, with my friend, whatever X, Y, Z, whatever you might say. Okay, right. The next expression was predicament. Yeah, it's not predicament. Predicament. P-R-E-D-I-C-A-M-E-N-T. Predicament. What is a predicament? Predicament is it's a confusion. Okay, you're in a predicament means you're in a confusion. Okay, you talk about a confusion there. What kind of a predicament? Maybe like you have joined the classes for singing, right? You've joined the university for singing. If you get a good chance from a say private college to do that course, or somebody is trying to sponsor you, You are in a predicament. Now should I continue with my classes or should I go in for the new one? It's a situation where you want to choose. Hi. Okay. Right. Want to come? Yeah, she'll also share the live. Okay, next now. When the first day we were doing this, I said this is a stage for everybody to dance. Who dances the best is going to get a prize here. Okay, now excuse me. Tomorrow? Yeah, all Pooja ma'am and everybody. I'm not going to dance. Excuse me.
बड़ी सुंदर चुन्नी लग रही है आपकी। आई थी वो?
हाँ वो आएगी 12 बजे। ओ इसकी भी रिकॉर्डिंग हो रही है। चलो ठीक है सर, मुझे नहीं पता इसको कैसे बंद करते हैं। सर मैं बाहर आ गई हूँ, 1 मिनट में इससे बात करने की इंक्वायरी आई थी उसकी। तो इसके अच्छा नहीं वो आई थी, वो 12 बजे आएगी। 5,000 बोलना था पर उसको हमने 3 महीने का 5,000 बोल तो दिया, बट ठीक है आ जाएगी, वो कह रही है आएगी। ठीक है हाँ वो आएगी। गुड हाँ 12 बजे वो कह रही, वो उस वजह। आप भी कर लो मैम।
ये दोनों हो रही रिकॉर्डिंग दोनों की?
मे बी। Okay, the next word. What is the next word? Fuss. What is fuss? Fuss. I say stop creating a fuss. F-U-S-S. Fuss. Like creating some kind of a problem. Okay, like sometimes you would see people don't maybe for seats in the trains, okay, or about anything they create a fuss. They create a fuss, they create a kind of like they shout and they create an unpleasant scene. That's called creating a fuss. For example, maybe you were promised that you're going to get the books on the first day and you don't get your books. So you create a fuss on that. You start shouting, you start talking loudly, and you create a ruckus. A ruckus at the reception. Ruckus means creating a ruckus would mean creating some kind of a confusion, shouting loudly. Okay. So I say that you're creating a fuss. Why are you creating a fuss? आप fuss क्यों create कर रहे हो? Okay, when somebody does something to make it unpleasant, disturbing, so you say stop.
That time the student saying that I do not bring out book.
I did not get the books.
I don't know.
हाँ ठीक है. Are you preparing to say that here at the reception? Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. Next word. Dilemma. Dilemma. Were you ever in a dilemma, Neha? Never ever? I'm sure you must have been. Dilemma means you are at a crossroad. Crossroad, you don't know whether to take the left or the right. अब आप लाइफ के क्रॉस रोड पे कभी कभी खड़े होते, डिसीजंस नहीं ले सकते. You want to buy this saree or this saree, this dress or this. कभी नहीं हुआ है dilemma? Most of the times. Related to what? Buying dresses?
No, buying not the buy dress, to take the decision.
Yeah, in life. Okay. What have you faced a dilemma about? To be at a crossroad. To be at a crossroad. Crossroad means being at a intersection. चौराहे पे आप खड़े and you cannot decide left or right. Yes, predicament, dilemma, to be at a crossroad is the same thing. To be at a crossroad is the same thing. Okay. When were you at a crossroad? Did you ever think you were at a crossroad? No? When you wanted to join a class for? When I wanted to choose my stream, yes. Okay, either it's BCom or BCA, you needed to. How about you, Bharat? Never ever in life? Can't believe it. You must have been. When have you been?
You have to give me one example.
To be at a crossroad, as she said, to choose between two dresses, you are at a crossroad. Okay, but generally we talk about bigger decisions in life. You are at a crossroad whether you want to take up this job or you want to take up another job. Okay, being at a situation where you cannot let go of anything. Let go, आप छोड़ नहीं सकते हो, right? You cannot let go of anything. That is where you say you are at a crossroad. Okay, that is where you use it. Okay, where were you? When were you at a crossroad?
Yesterday, I was dilemma due to my mother because
Because of my mother. What
yes,
if? Yeah.
he gave me.
She gave me.
She gave me two opportunities. You have to start your business. Do not go to the Mauritius
Okay.
because you are the only one child.
You're the only child of the family. Only son or only child?
Son.
Only. Okay, you're the only son. Okay, so you were in a dilemma.
Because mother is always positive, na?
Mothers are always possessive. Okay. Do you all agree? All the boys? Mothers are possessive about you? Okay. It's a done thing.
Girls.
No, mothers. Fathers are. What do you say, Neha? Mothers are possessive about boys only. Oh no, for girls. Okay, mothers are. No, as a kid you would be, but you know when you talk about possessiveness comes as an issue later on in life. You know when it is a tussle between the wife and the mother like this way. So that way you say so. But generally the saying goes mothers are possessive or they have a liking for sons and dads for daughters. They get on well. That's what the bonding is all about. Anyway, you know what is to be at a crossroad.
You also.
I'm not possessive about my sons. If they can go, let them go because sometimes it's enough. 3 boys at home is too much. Okay, my husband is my third child. We call him the third child. Okay, I can't have. मैं तो कभी-कभी सोचा I think I should be free. When I come here, I mean okay. If you want to go on a holiday, go and leave me alone. It's too much to. I would say it's too much. Okay, right. Next. Sorry. Catch-22 situation is another expression to talk about being at a problem. It was a situation. It was a catch-22. Like again, relocating to another country. Now you have plans of relocating, but then you have aged parents to take care of. You're in a catch-22 situation. Both the situations are important. Okay, so it was a catch-22 situation when the boss offered you a raise with a promotion. At the same time you got another offer which was good enough. Now you have to choose. You are at a crossroad. ये सारे words हैं to talk about this. Okay, next.
Do or die situation.
Do or die. Either you do it or you die. या करो या मरो. That kind of a situation. You say it's a do or die. There is no way out. No way out. What do you say about no way out? No other option. You have to do it, right? Boys cannot think about not working. There is no way out for them. They have to work. Girls have a choice, isn't it? Girls have a choice, but for
girls, there is also they have to choose option.
they have to choose an option, no doubt. But at least for girls, if they don't want to study, they don't want to work, it's okay. For boy, it's a do or die situation. You have to. No, not for boy. Do or die situation for boy. Always a do or die situation. They have to be in jobs. Okay, it's like, what do you say, Bharat? Pressure? Do or die. Okay, now you're of age. Oh, come on, you haven't got a job. This is what happens, It's a do or die situation that you have. Yes, Manish?
Yes.
It's always there. Okay. The sword hanging on your head. Right. You have to do something. And if not your parents are bothered, then your neighbors are. Then relatives are also bothered. What is he doing kinds without a job? Okay, next. Minefield, and the second expression was a mine. Minefield talks about in large numbers. It's a minefield of problems, or a mine of problems means there are lots of problems. Not one, but lots of it. Mine is a word that is used for a gold mine. You know what's a gold mine or a coal mine?
Yes.
खान. Okay, means जहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा numbers में वो available है. So this is a mine of problems. आप इसको वैसे भी use करते हैं, a mine of information. Information के लिए भी use करते हैं. That internet is a mine of information, or you can say mine of problems too. अगर कोई इसको wrongly use करते हैं. A lot of. Okay, it talks.
If somebody asks me what is the problem,
you say I have a mine of problems. Right, not one but lot of problems. Okay, next.
Can of worms.
Can of worms, yes. This is also a good expression and you often come across it, that this is a can of worms. Can of worms means that when you open that, or when you discover something wrong, it is just one thing. There are lots of problems there. Like, I think this case, the Sheena murder case, has opened a can of worms. Means police was investigating a murder case, but now they have come across maybe relationship issues, money angle, this and that. Can of worms. Just imagine when you open a can which is full of worms, so you say it is full of problems. It also means being full of problems. The situation was, or the issue was, a can of worms. Can of worms, full of problems. Worms are those कीड़े जो होते हैं ना, जो रेंगते हैं, earthworm.
Can that is
the container.
yes, yes.
Container, ठीक है. Worms जिसमें worms भरे हुए हों, right, full of कीड़े. Earthworms are called, what are they called? Kechue. Okay, right, that kind of things, right? Can of worms. Okay. Haven't you seen that? Which which reality show is this, where you have people? Yes, they use those can of worms there in that, isn't it? Okay, next now.
That if we also use that cereal is full of can of worms.
But that is in the real sense. Can of worms there means can of worms. Problem से related नहीं है. Can of worms here is for problems. Okay, can of worms means in that serial, participants have to do some activity related with the can of worms. It is in reality. Can of worms has also another thing which talks about being a can of worms means being full of problems. It's a can of worms. Okay.
We also say that participants face to can of worms.
Sorry?
Face to can of worms.
Facing can.
Facing can of worms.
This can be also used, where, if I remember, the MCD was trying to, if you look into the MCD, the Municipal Corporation of Delhi, there is a lot of problem about, what I could say is paying money to the employees, because there are lots of ghost employees in MCD. MCD has a big scam in it. You know what is a scam? What's a scam? You heard this word scam? Ghotala. Okay? Yes. So you talk about MCD is actually a can of worms. आपको पता है, when people working for MCD draw salaries for people who don't even exist, उनके roll call पे ऐसे employees भी हैं जो सचमुच नहीं हैं, but उनके नाम पे salary दी जाती है, right? It's corruption. That is what happens. So you can say dealing with the MCD is like opening a can of worms. एक can of worms को खोलना. It's the same thing about opening a can of worms. Is that okay? Right. CWG scam was also a can of worms. आपने एक ही देखा, उसमें से इतनी सारी निकल के आ गई problems. Okay, that kinds. Okay. Next, harass. Harassed. Where are people harassed?
Domestic violence.
Oh, domestic violence. Yes. Harassed otherwise also. Harassed is troubling others. परेशान करना. When you trouble others. Stop harassing me. Domestic violence can also be a case of harassment. Okay. Or any kind of harassment when people trouble you. That's harass. Okay. Right. A stumbling block. Okay. It was a stumbling block for success. What is a stumbling block? An obstacle. It talks about an obstacle. What's an obstacle? Yes, it talks about, जिसको हिंदी में कहते हैं अड़चन, रुकावट. It is a, like, it stops you from progress. So it was a stumbling block. Like Sheena murder case, this, what's his name, Maria, the police commissioner of Mumbai, his transfer order was a stumbling block for the case. Was a stumbling block for the case means it was a kind of stop for the case. एक तरह से उसमें रुकावट देने के लिए. It was a stumbling block. Okay. Stumbling block means it puts a stop to your flow. Right. Okay. Yesterday I read something interesting which I want to share with you, and you must remember it. I read that most of the Americans and English speaking people, when they speak in English, generally start a sentence speaking fast, and towards the end they slow down, because they might start a sentence with things you already know and then talk about things that they want to tell you. If you notice people now speaking in English, remember that they start fast but they end it stress on the last few words, because they go slow there because they want you to know it better. वो एक ऐसे in like they start at a stage when you what you already know, and what they have to share is done towards the end. That is how, please remember that technique. Now next time when you watch or hear people speaking, remember to watch them closely and keep this in mind, and see when you deliver also to do that in mind. Yeah, I was reading it somewhere and I thought it was interesting. No, that of course they do, but this is one way of speaking technique that they use. I was reading about technique somewhere, and this was something interesting I thought I could share with you. Kind. We are here. We are the we are here. Okay, right. The R goes inside. I mean the kind of accent that they use. That's a swear. What have you been working on the American accent? Did you find something new? No, nothing new. You haven't. Okay.
No, there's a song of British girl, "Give me more." That's they always sing that, "Give me more, give me more."
Give me more. Give me more. Right. They stress on. Okay. Now next week onwards, Neha is going to give us tips every week. You have to find out from the net that you can share with the class. Right. I may not be able to do everything, so you share about American.
I think her hubby also gives.
No, not her hubby gives her tips, but she's going to find it out herself, right?
My husband is everyday dealing with the Americans.
Right.
But he also found difficulties to understand their.
That I can understand. What I'm trying to do is, why do you want to trouble him? Do your own research and share it with the class, so that we also get to learn new things. I'll forget the word that you had shared. What was the word? Before you go, Manish, please share. Remind me the word again. What was the word?
ORT.
ORT. Okay, I'll remember that word. That was something new for. Okay. Sorry for the break or the intermission, right? Interruption. Sorry for, or sorry for the inconvenience caused because of the interruption. Whatever. Okay, that is how. Okay, then sorry for the interruption is the best expression to say. Next expression?
Ups and downs.
Ups and downs. What's ups and? Yes, we talk about ups and downs in lives, ups and downs in relationship, ups and downs anywhere. You talk about ups and downs, right? Okay. Next, no-win situation. What does it mean? It was a no-win situation. For problems, you say it ended in a dead end. Sorry, deadlock. Deadlock, no-win situation, nobody gains out of it. A situation, a problem where two people are talking and nobody gains out of the talks that they have with each other. You say it was a no-win situation. Nobody won. It ended in a deadlock. You know, India-Pakistan talks sometimes, right? When the security advisors they meet, it ends in a deadlock. Deadlock, दोनों अपनी बात पे अड़े रहते हैं. They are also adamant and they are also. Another situation, you know, in offices, when the management union, they talk with the higher management, sometimes it ends in a deadlock. Both of them are rigid about their own way of talking to each other. That's called ending in a deadlock.
In
Cricket, no, it doesn't end in a deadlock. Okay, this is
no-win situation there.
no when it ends in a draw. But in cricket, you are not negotiating. This is for when you are only talking and with somebody. But in a cricket, it's a no-win situation. No, you would say it ends in a draw. Of course, it's a no-win situation, but it ends in a draw. That is how we use it. Okay, right. Next now, vicious circle. Now that's a good expression. Where is this used? A vicious circle. A vicious circle. Vicious circle also talks of a nexus. I can use the word nexus here. Nexus. Where have you seen this expression being used? Nexus? No? Okay.
Google Nexus phone.
Sorry?
Google Nexus phone.
Google Nexus. Okay. Well, yeah, okay, right. Vicious circle, of course, remember we are talking about problems. So, here it will be related to talking about problems. Well, a vicious circle would mean a circle or a chain which is unhealthy. Okay, I'll give you an example. Like suppose you are suffering from some illness, you go to the doctor and he recommends you what? He recommends you some medicines and he recommends you a battery of tests. Battery of tests? What does it mean? A battery of tests? A series of tests. Okay? Now that is only because there is a vicious circle. The doctor has been promised by the lab that if you send us students, we'll give you a certain commission on every patient that you send us. Okay? That circle is called a vicious circle. How does it happen? The doctor, patient goes to the lab and it comes back to the doctor. That chain.
Patient, lab and doctor.
Doctor. That's a vicious circle that you talk about. Okay? So, this is what we talk about, a vicious circle, a nexus, a chain of events that happen which is unhealthy, a vicious circle, right? That is how we talk about.
So how can we say that doctor gave me a battery of
He
tests?
recommended me a battery of tests or he prescribed me a battery of tests and I realized I had fallen into a vicious circle. Okay, because I was running from pillar to post. I kept on getting the test done, going to the doctor, but coming back and no, I didn't find that my problem was solved. Okay, that's a...
So ma'am, we mainly use for doctors or we
No, you use it for the other things also. Vicious circle where? You go to the education department, your work doesn't get cleared because you have to pay money. It's a vicious circle there. You pay money to the any person there and he moves your file to the other department. It's a vicious circle. Okay, for any department where it's an unhealthy chain, you say it is a vicious circle. At police stations, to get your cases, sometimes to get I would say to get justice, it's a vicious circle. Until and unless you pay them money, they will not look into your diary entry also, the case entry, because it's a vicious circle. You pay money to them and then they look further. Or even these people like these vendors looking for protection money, it's a vicious circle. They demand money from you, pass it on to this, and then it goes like a chain. It goes like a chain there. You say it's a vicious circle. Okay. Next expression was? Fraught with problems is full of problems. The thing was, I decided to take up a course, but I gave it up because it was fraught with problems, full of problems. Problems se ghire hue hona. Okay, full of problems. Okay.
Crisis management.
Okay. Crisis management. What's crisis management?
Crisis.
Yeah, what does it mean?
Crisis.
No, crisis. CRISIS. Crisis management. What does it mean to talk about crisis management? And it's a part of corporate culture nowadays. What's a crisis? No, crisis management would mean any kind of a management about a crisis. Crisis is a problem that erupts suddenly. Okay, for example, suppose we are teaching now and the electricity fails and the inverter also stops working. Now it's a crisis. How are we going to? We can sit and lament. या तो हम बैठ के रो सकते हैं, अरे what has happened, this and that. Or we do a crisis management, arrange for some other premises for the classes to be taken, whatever. That's called crisis management. That means tackling a problem that has come to you suddenly and how well you manage that. To be good at crisis management, you need to be an efficient worker. You need to have good problem solving skills, right? Isn't it? That is how you become a good crisis manager. Have you ever managed a crisis? What kind of crisis? Yes. Of course, you could face right, and last minute hurdles. What is a last minute? सब कुछ ठीक होते होते भी problem आ जाए. That's a crisis. Have you managed crisis in life? What kind of crisis have you? Never. Must have. I don't recollect now. I don't recollect now. Yes. What kind of crisis? You're walking bravely and a group of enemies come and surround you. ऐसा हुआ है? And then what did you do? Punch them left and right. Okay. How about you? Crisis? So many issues at home, at office, at it can erupt any time or the other. Okay. Is there any other word? Yeah?
To be in shambles.
To be in shambles. What does it mean to be in shambles? To be in shambles? To be in a condition which is very pathetic, very bad. Like some government school projects or some projects taken up by the government for the education department is in complete shambles now. Complete shambles, in a very pathetic stage, in a very bad stage. Okay? Actually, I can also say, certain what did I see about some dispensary being run by the government? Yes, I remember. Like the Delhi government has introduced that Jan Aushadhi scheme and all these dispensaries for people to go. So, but in other states, the primary health centers, right? Primary health centers, you understand? That gives the health, the first aid to the people who require it. They are in complete shamble. Complete shamble means in a very pathetic state, in a very bad state. You say it is in complete shambles. That is how it goes, right? It is in complete shambles. 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 Right? Is there any other word?
To be in a tight spot.
Okay. To be in a tight spot, what does it mean? To be in a tight spot? Yes, to be in a situation where it is difficult to get out of. Okay, so you say to be in a tight spot. Right? Okay, now I'll give you situations where you have to work out on. आपको individually work out करना है, and then because you're tired of writing and listening, you can do a speaking activity quickly on decision making. Right? The situations. Okay. Mm. 2, 4, 6. Maybe you need to leave. It's time. 5 minutes. Hanji. Right. 5 minutes left. Then we cannot do the speaking. What do we do the speaking activity about? Wait. I'll just go and remove all this stuff.